Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the United States. The President was assassinated on Good Friday evening of April 14, 1865, by actor John Wilkes Booth. This man had been planning to assassinate Lincoln, but this was not only an assassination, it was a conspiracy. Along with the death of Lincoln, the conspirators planned to assassinate Vice President Andrew Johnson and Secretary of State William Seward. The conspirator in charge of murdering Johnson was George A. Atzerodt, and Lewis Powell, also known as Lewis Payne, was given the task of killing Secretary of State Seward. Lincoln's wife, Mary Todd, encouraged Abraham to go to the theater on the night of Good Friday. Lincoln did not want to go, but he decided to make an appearance so he wouldn't disappoint the crowd. They then proceeded to Ford's Theater to see the production Our American Cousin. Lincoln and his wife sat in the presidential box, which was actually the worst seat in the house. The view of the stage was terrible, but everyone else in the theater could see the president perfectly. The president and first lady were accompanied by Mr. and Mrs. Rathbone. Since Booth was well renowned, he had access to every part of the theater. He successfully passed the guard and proceeded to the presidential box. Once he was there, Booth aimed his gun and shot the president in the back of the head. In Booth's ingenious mind, he saw himself as a parallel to Brutus, and Abraham Lincoln was a parallel to Julius Caesar. Thinking he was a hero, Booth jumped from the box and onto the stage. He caught his ankle on a flag and broke it, but managed to limp to his horse and escape. Hours later, the next morning, on Holy Saturday, the beloved president passed away. The death of Lincoln was a horrifying shock to the country, and still one of the greatest tragedies to date. One poet had written about his pain due to the assassination. The first stanza of his poem said, "'Twas on that sad and mournful night, oh what a fearful shock, our country felt when news arrived our president was shot. The stores were closed, our flag was draped, our hearts felt sick and sore. Such fearful news we never received from Washington before." For 12 days there was a grueling search for John Wilkes Booth, and this fugitive was nowhere to be found until he was trapped in a barn surrounded by armed men. Still believing that he was a hero for assassinating Lincoln, Booth was prepared to die a martyr, which he did. On April 26, 1865, John Wilkes Booth died. The other conspirators weren't as successful as Booth had planned. Two others involved in the conspiracy, David Herold and Mary Surratt, were hanged along with Powell and Atzerodt as punishment. The hanging was held on July 7, 1865. Abraham Lincoln will forever be remembered and known as one of the greatest presidents that America has ever had.